Coming up on Look Today, we take a look at this year's Chowder Fest, and we're going to tell you who the winner is. And Congresswoman Elise Stefanik spoke at the Save the Rivers 27th Annual Conference. I've got some details. And a fire at Stitchman Towers in Glens Falls forces the evacuation of some of its residents. I've got those details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson, and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, I sit down with Rich Serino and Susan Duncan of the Glens Falls Food Co-op to discuss how you can get involved. And we also talk with Marge Moan about the Whitehall Winter Festival. Plus, we have your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, Chowder Fest in Saratoga Springs was a great success. Thousands upon thousands turned up to taste the different soups that local businesses had to offer. Over 80 restaurants and shops participated in the event. The streets were crowded and the lines were long. Visitors were able to pick up ballots and vote for their favorite chowder. We caught up with Chef Dave Britton of Saratoga to talk to him about his special brand of chowder.
Well, today we're making olive chowder provençal with a saffron harissa roux. Roux is like a rust, like an aioli. So the idea of having an olive chowder in front of an olive oil store, I thought was kind of cute.
Well, Dave's a great chef and he's obviously wearing a great hat. However, the winner of Chowder Fest is Gaffney's. Other winners of different categories included Doc Brown's, Druthers, and many more. A big congratulations to those places, and especially Kevin at Gaffney's and all the businesses that participated. In other news, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik spoke at the Save the Rivers 27th Annual Conference in Clayton. The event took place on Saturday in Clayton, New York. Several speakers from around the country and across the Canadian border addressed a variety of issues. Main topics covered water levels, sewage treatment, tourism, oil transportation, and political measures. Congresswoman Stefanik, whose district covers the entire length of the St. Lawrence River, praised her fellow legislators for passing the Microbead Water Act of 2015. Now, this is a bill which Stefanik co-sponsored, and it bans the sale of rinse-off cosmetics. The Congresswoman is working to gain more support from the entire New York congressional delegation. And we'll keep you updated on this bill and other initiatives that affect Lake George and surrounding waterways. Well, in other news, the 42-year-old Stitchman Towers in Glens Falls caught on fire on Saturday night. Well, fire investigators believe that the cause of the fire was an improperly discarded cigarette that was used around an oxygen tank. The fire happened on the third floor. Luckily, it was contained and subdued in that one apartment. There was smoke and heat damage to the building. However, the residents did not suffer any injuries. We spoke with Bob Landry. He's the executive director of the Glens Falls Housing Authority about the fire.
We had a report of a fire in an apartment on the third floor at Stitchman Towers last night at about 7:30 from our alarm service. Our on-call people arrived and found a heavy smoke condition on the third floor. The fire department immediately attacked the fire, which was located in a bedroom in a third floor apartment. There was no occupant in the apartment at the time of the fire.
I really want to commend Bob and his team for developing and executing their emergency plan. Well, changing from news to weather, we're expecting some snow. Yes, I said snow. So let's see what's in store for the week ahead. The latest, let's head to our Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, Camp Boyhaven in Middle Grove hosted the Klondike Derby on Saturday. Well, the event tests the winter skills, the survival skills of Boy Scouts as they pull their homemade sleds through various challenges. Well, in addition to applying survival skills, values such as teamwork, self-reliance, and mentoring are all skills that make up the core of this event. Well, coming up, I sit down with President Susan Duncan and Treasurer Rich Serino of the Glens Falls Food Co-op to talk about their new location and how you can get involved with the co-op. And I also sit down with co-chairwoman Marge Moan, and she's going to talk about the Whitehall Winter Festival. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000.